Hey everybody, Joshua here. I'm back. We're back. We're back at the lake hanging out. It is about 1 p.m. on Tuesday, day after Memorial Day. Hopefully you were able to enjoy the free day off. Just wanted to share this with everybody too. I also want to thank my stepdad. That's us. In May of 1985. That's at the wedding of my stepdad and my mom, and that's a little old me. This picture was printed in June of 1985. And so that will explain my hiatus for the last couple of weeks. Why I haven't been doing any activism or anything. I just wanted to we are right over the airport line of where the demonic airplanes fly into Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport, right above, right over this way, right over there. And so I know a lot of people, I had gotten messages, some people were just kind of wondering where I was at, what I've been up to, why I haven't been making any videos, and that's why he passed away on the 16th of May from pancreatic cancer at 60 years of age. And I just wanted to take the couple of weeks to just kind of reflect and refocus and kind of just get my head together, try to move to another phase of where I want to be at in Flat Earth and where I would encourage other people who have been in this commonwealth of geocentricity, if you will. And his funeral was just on Friday, on the 25th of May. And so I wanted to get out yesterday, but it ended up raining. I couldn't get out here until about 4 p.m. and then an hour later it started to rain, and I didn't even have opportunity to talk to anybody. The wind just got to be so much that it got to be, unbearable. People were starting to head home and whatnot. And so we are here at the lake. And there it is. This is Lake Harriet, actually. It is a bit windy. I mean, we're right off the lake here, and it's Minnesota, so expect windy. So here's my setup at the moment. And then I got a sign strapped onto that tree. What do you think of flat Earth? So I'll hang out here for a couple of hours. See if we can't have some productive conversations with people. And of course, in the meantime, maybe I could share some of my thoughts of where I've been the last couple of weeks, what I've been thinking about, how I feel people are responding, the naysayers in our own community who feel that group activism is cultish. So we'll bring that to everybody's attention. And we'll just hang out here for a while. It's supposed to actually rain again later today, and every day this week up until Friday. So hopefully I'll be able to get out a little bit more as the week progresses, but we'll kind of have to battle with the weather and whatnot. So, but it's still summer. We got, 3, 4, 5 months of weather where we can come out and do this. I do invite anybody here in Minnesota if you want to come out and do some activism with me. And if you choose to come out and do activism with me, I got a hat here for you. These were made just for you, for Minnesota. Unofficial, official capital of Flat Earth. And what else we got? We have our classic red pills offered up to people. I have DVDs available. Hours and hours of memory space available for video as we hang out here at Lake Harriet. And I have some new signage that I'll introduce to you all here soon and whatnot.
got an interesting comment on one of my videos about
and so there is that. If you don't think that being a full-fledged flat earther doesn't completely separate you from the group of people that you thought you were a part of before, then you're still a purple pillar. You can't completely jump on board and commit yourself like to that thought, like have an honest relationship with the thought of flat earth and still think that you're going to be able to, you know, talk to people like this. You know? That's not where this is at. And that's not where I see this going. This is going to separate and divide. That's what truth does. And until people are on board with the truth, we have to continually show them evidence and give them the time that it takes for them to fully commit to this. And clearly a race of people can be an ideology for a way that you feel about others. Those people that are around you, even though you're the same color as those people, you can call yourself a race of people. And so when you're calling yourself a race of people, even though I'm Caucasian, right? I'm white. But you're white, but you identify yourself as a race of people, then let's boil that down to what is it really that makes you, you know, believe, evidences, testimony that you are so far separate from me. Well, in that case, a lot of spirituality has to fall into play. And what you feel you were told by others, and particularly God, in most cases, well, and obviously this case that we're talking about here. And so it comes to a point of, hi, how's it going?
Good. Can you tell me about this?
Yeah, I'm just here sharing the idea that the Earth is a level, motionless plane and not a globe like this that you're taught. Because you've never seen this from that perspective before, have you? So let's say you're the moon, right? Have you ever seen the Earth from that perspective where you're looking? So could I guess, assume that you would believe that you live on a sphere in outer space? Or do you know?
I've been taught things that...
There you go. That's a good answer. Yeah.
So, how do you know it's not though?
How do I know it's not? Well, the evidence is like water, for example. If you see water like a lake right now, it looks pretty level and flat, right? There are some, obviously there's waves because of the wind and whatnot. But if there was no wind right now, do you think that the lake could be a mirror? Could it reflect the sky?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen like water lay flat, right? And then you can see the reflection of the sky like a mirror, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so at a certain distance away, even 10 miles, you should be able to see curvature given the calculation that they give us regarding the circumference of the Earth, which is 24,901 miles. Okay? And so over a great distance of water, let's say 50 miles, you should see about 1,700 feet of curvature. But you don't. You still see, like, for example, the Chicago skyline or various other objects from a distance that have a particular height to them, where you can still see not only almost the bottom, but the very top of those buildings. Are you familiar with what the curvature calculation is?
No.
No? Have you ever seen this before in your life? Just so that's using trigonometry to give you 8 inches per mile squared with what they give us as the circumference of the Earth. And so using water as a means to show the Earth being level, then I could ask you the question, at what point do you have to be, at what height do you have to be to see water like this conforming to the exterior of a ball? Because we don't see it here in our physical reality. So this is probably an easy question for you, but what word do they give us that would explain why water conforms to the exterior of a ball?
Gravity?
Gravity, right.
No.
And so that's just nomenclature for the phenomenon of why things fall to the ground. And that's just really density and buoyancy.
And the attraction between.
There's no
things of
attraction.
Math that have mass.
No.
So you don't like that law.
It's not a law.
Okay.
I mean, you can't just say something and then say it's a law and then make it true. Just because you repeat it over and over again.
What do you think about astronomy that says, like, that's why stars exist? Particles have mass in it.
That's philosophy. Nobody's ever been there to find that out. Nobody's traveled there. And so that's just, that's a philosophy that they've come up with, and then they use that to teach us in school, and then we get indoctrinated into lies. You're never going to go to space. I'm never going to go to outer space. There's the idea that you can, but unfortunately, most of the people that claim to have gone there are part of secret societies, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do they have names or no?
I mean, yeah, the Freemasons, Jesuits.
Would you, if you could go to space, would you want to?
I think that we have a lot to deal with here on Earth, personally,
Like, if someone was like, oh, like...
It's not possible to, though. No, it's not possible. It's not possible.
So you don't think, like, moon landing and stuff?
What's your opinion on the moon landing?
I don't know, I was always taught it was real. I
Yeah?
studied, like, science in college, so...
Yeah.
But I'm really interested to hear, like, what other people think.
Yeah. Well, at what point do you, quote, learn something, which is really in this country indoctrination and then just regurgitation? Because you're just memorizing stuff and then writing on a test, and then you get graded for it. You're not really learning anything because you're not actually doing observations that you can prove to yourself that you can land on the moon. And so I guess I ask you this question: at what point do you start to question what you've been taught from the past, or have you ever?
I definitely have. Like, I studied chemistry, and every year the way they would teach us about, like, bonding would change. And it was always like, oh, actually, just kidding, this was an implication, this is what it actually is. Yeah. And that's, like, disconcerting, but I think I always wanted to learn more, and so I was okay with, like, accepting it.
Okay.
And I also took, like, some theoretical math, and that you can prove stuff. And so it makes sense to me that in this scientific discipline, if I can see this, if I can prove it myself, then why wouldn't I accept it in other ones when other people don't prove?
Would you go as far as to say math is a language?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because you do have to kind of understand it, right? I mean, in terms of equations and stuff like that. Do you think that math and numbers could have been manipulated in a manner to make things that we see in our reality true, whereas they're not really? Like, do you really have to have like 160, 70 IQ to know that the Earth is flat? Or do you have to be a scientist to know this stuff?
I think you have to, like, I don't know about, like, IQ. I think you have to, like, delve deep to, like, understand it. But, like, yeah, I don't know how to answer that.
No?
Yeah.
Because I guess me and maybe some others in this, quote, community of flat earthers could probably argue that math or the numbers, the language, has been manipulated in such a way that it gives the preconceived notion that we live on a sphere, so the numbers are going to equal to what they want you to think.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just forget about what you were taught and what you learned in school, you can see for yourself that the Earth is not a sphere. And using the sky as a reference point to the Earth being a sphere is crazy.
Yeah. Guys, how did you get, like, passionate about this?
I started doing this last year on Earth Day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I've been into this for almost 3 years this winter.
Oh.
And so it took me about a year to kind of get the gumption and this. Like, I was, into 9/11 and the moon hoax and all that stuff. Like, so I've been into questioning authority and what we've been told by mainstream media. But flat Earth really is, it helps define who you are as a human being. Because you know that you don't live here anymore. And so you focus more on the people and the things around you and the deceptions that are ongoing. And so I've just become passionate about letting people know and at least encouraging them to question, if anything.
Do you think you were inspired by the whole like post-truth era and like there's so many lies that are like? I know I have.
Yeah, I mean I have, but that's on my own personal journey. But when it came to flat Earth and being introduced to like outer space literally not existing, like we're taught, they have used Hollywood as a means to propagate an environment that doesn't exist. You know, and so that is a massive deception because a lot of people use that as a catalyst to, quote, preach evolution. And so a majority, I would say over 99% of the people who are, quote, flat earthers believe in a creator of some kind.
Right.
So there is a God, there is a creator, you know, whether it be for them the biblical God or, you know, whatever, because even in old ancient texts it talks about, you know, the earth being flat. Maps have been revealed showing, you know, not a ball map, but more of a ground, you know, map and stuff. And so I care about people, you know, I really do. And I've been doing this. I got over 600 hours on my YouTube channel. I have a card, and you can take a DVD too under there. Slide it off on the bottom there. Just slide it off there.
And then one more question. So when you say flat, do you have any kind of sense of what like shape it is?
I don't.
No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, if it was flat, what would it look like to you?
I mean, the old maps show like a coin, right?
Right.
But why not like a square or something based on like, so you don't know?
Well, we do. I brought this out. This is kind of what I started to do here. I took a couple of weeks off. I had a stepdad pass away. Yeah, and so his funeral was on Friday, so I figured, you know, once his funeral was over, I'd get back at it. And so I have this here to show you, and then in the back I'll explain. So that's just a banner that people use, and I asked the question, if the earth was flat, what would it look like? And those are actually the three most popular ideas of what a flat earth would look like. And so, yeah, the bottom right one is the UN flag, actually, and that's the AE map, the azimuthal equidistant map. And so that's like the white part around it is Antarctica. So it's speculated that that's what holds all the water in, because it has to be contained, you know, water, otherwise it's just going to flood off, right?
And this would explain why you can like travel around.
Yeah, that's how you can circumnavigate, right? And then there's the Pac-Man model, which from Ecclesiastes 1:5 talks about how the sun rises and sets and then hurries back to where it rose again. So to get almost crazy is like teleportation in a sense. Like I put a little Pac-Man on the bottom there, you know, to show like, and that's the Mercator map. And so the sun would travel, and people try to use like the sun as a means to understand what shape the earth is, but even with that being said, it's still difficult.
Yeah.
And the top part is like, let's say like there's a earth pond, if you will, like there's our shore that leads you to, you know, the Americas and Africa and stuff. But let's say like you have your compass pointing north, right? And then you and I and a group of people go south 20,000 miles.
Yeah.
You know, just keep going and going and going until we hit the alleged dome. Or what if land just continues to go and just keeps going?
Yeah.
And so would a motive of an elite group of people that want to rule over people, you know, like you and me, would they hide more water, land, and resources from us?
Probably. Yeah.
You know, I mean, if in the 50s they wanted to venture out to, quote, outer space and find out if we really live here, and they found out that the earth is not a sphere, do you think that they would tell us?
Probably not.
Right? I mean, so that's just really what I do. I just come out here a couple times a week, either here, Lake Calhoun, or the U, and go to where people are. Because, I mean, 9 out of 10 of these people have not only never heard of Flat Earth, but they barely go to YouTube. And Flat Earth is kind of like an internet, quote, sensation right now. And I just try to meet people where they're at.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great thing to like question. Like,
Yeah.
I really admire that spirit.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Yeah,
so much.
yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Have a nice day. I'm Joshua, by the way.
Joshua, Naomi.
Naomi, okay. Have a nice afternoon. Have a nice ride out there. Well, that was good. Naomi, I hope you investigate on your own time. And so, just kind of go back to, you know, my thought about flat Earth being a culture or a race of people. I got this one comment here. I was kind of shooting this idea out there. All right, I found it. A race of people influenced by culture is flat Earth. I mean, we have our own music. Not many musicians came out of 9/11 or the moon hoax, JFK, or Agent Orange from Vietnam. Which is where the idea of flat Earth being a culture, a race of people has come from. We have philosophies of how we got to where we're at. And people will be drawn more to a particular lifestyle, maybe a diet. So that could still be a culture. You know, when people are drawn to a particular type of music, you know, country music, for example, there's a big culture in country music. But you're still considered a race of people, you know, like humans. And the color of your skin shouldn't identify you as a race of people. But if people are going to use that, then where does the idea of a race of people come from? So the idea of a race of people has to come from some type of worldview or belief system, or what you were taught over a period of you know, generations. Tradition brings people to that point. And so if you want to separate yourself from the rest of your human counterparts, then you're gonna, you know, clearly have some kind of you know, agenda where you then think of people being less important, less meaningful. You can get rid of a particular group of people because of the color of their skin. Not because they're human beings anymore, but because of that color then creates a culture, and then that is to divide. And sooner or later, you're going to have to separate yourself from people who refuse to let go of the heliocentric model. Those who are willfully ignorant and choose to not look into flat Earth, choose to remain in the stance that they are, that nobody at that level would ever lie to them. There's no way that anybody would ever lie to me about where I live. And I trust the government over some guy at a table in a lake talking about flat Earth. So I'm just saying, like, I'm kind of a junior, I guess, in flat Earth. You know, this winter I'll be into this for about 3 years. I've been looking into it, study, prayer, trying to really wrap my head around this flat earth thing, and I don't even see this thing anymore. You know, I don't even see that in my head anymore. I can't bring myself to think in any notion that the earth is a sphere in outer space. It just doesn't cross my mind anymore. And to come across people here at the park or anywhere who challenge what I'm presenting is, I guess, it's humbling, because I was once at that point before. And so we have to, as a group of people with this knowledge, you know, be kind to these people, but speak in sternness and authority also. And there's, you know, nothing wrong with trying to get across your point with, you know, a little abrasion, you know. Sometimes to get a stain off of a particular, you know, carpet or clothing, you kind of have to scrub a little bit. To sand something down, you have to sand the wood down quite a bit. And so I've been presenting, I'm going to start presenting people this guy here. Check that out. That's some new signage that I got. I'm just taking the pink elephant right out of the room, you know, exposing it for what it is. And these are the most common models or conversations that people have about flat earth. And this is my introductory signage. Since the earth is flat, what is its shape? We're not assuming, we're not guessing. I put since. You know, we're getting to that point in this community where it is flat, okay? You need to catch up. People who want to remain ignorant. People who want to not look into it because you think you're too busy or it's just dumb. And if you claim to be a Christian particularly, and smile like she just did, not that she may or may not be a Christian, but, you know, how egomaniac is that to think you have all the answers? All your answers have been provided to you, and if there's anything amiss, you'll hear about it on TV. So if it's not true, there's no reason why the government would hide it from you. So if it is true, the government would say, yes, this is how it is. The earth is a sphere, just like that lady who just came out with a video recently, thinking that it's just audacious for us even to talk about flat earth. And for me, I guess it's time that we move on. And whatever the proper model is or not, big deal. You know, we all know that the earth isn't a globe. And so what the shape or how the continents look and everything, you know, that's clearly up in the air. It's defying gravity. And whether these are the right or wrong models, we need to stop avoiding the topic altogether. So I've jumped, I guess, off the bandwagon of AE map, Mercator map, Pac-Man model map, and I'm just presenting them all because I don't know. You know, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody venture out and map out the earth. in a means that would satisfy my thirst and hunger for truth. How you doing? It's funny, but you don't want to talk about it?
There's more important things in the world than
No, this is the most important thing.
climate change is more important.
Climate change doesn't exist, sir. Who told you that it exists? Mommy and daddy government? See, it's like that. Flat Earth, boom. No more climate change, you know? Climate change is more important. Well, if you have a better understanding that climate change creates the human being as the enemy to Earth, you know, you guys having a rowdy conversation. How you doing? Good. Want to talk about it? No? I'll be here to give you a hug when you find out the Earth is flat, though. So just presenting all the models, you know, giving them the question, hey, if the Earth was flat, what do you think it would look like? You know, putting the onus on them to find out. Because the Earth is flat, you know. Water's level. The Coriolis effect doesn't affect those things flying in the air right there, those demonic entities, right? Called airplanes. Or bullets. You know, you can't have it both ways. It's either Coriolis effect affects the planes and helicopters, or it doesn't. Or it affects bullets, or it doesn't. You can't, you know, there's just this argument. Should have put my, so I had these people. I had those people come after me, bro. He was trying to claim that he's been to outer space. He claimed that he went to the Kármán line, which is 65,000 feet, is what he said. And I said, no, it's actually 62 miles. Yeah, it is hilarious, though. And frustrating. I mean, there are so many emotions that go through my head when I'm out here, or even, you know, chatting with people about this online. You know, the vitriol that comes out of people's mouths and the anger, denying reality. I'm here to gaslight you. So just a heads up. I'll put that right out there. I am here to challenge your reality in which you live. And those people who just walked by thinking that the Kármán line is 60 miles. That guy said, I was in a plane at 65,000 feet or something like that, which isn't typical for most commercial airliners. So he thinks he must be claiming to have been a military airplane. But that's still not the Kármán line, bud. And I remember the Kármán line because when I looked up the Kármán line, it is 330,000 feet. So put that number in your pipe and smoke it. 330,000 feet. Some other signage that we have. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Terrific. Jeez. Got this guy here. So this is what does it for a lot of people. Here's your maths. People out there that want to manipulate numbers into making your reality. You can put that in your pipe and smoke it. So you got a lot of things to think about. And we have all of our classic signage, satellites not existing, so on and so on.
Yeah, he had a break.
We might do a continuation tomorrow because it's starting to get a little bit more windier. Had one conversation with that young lady. Hopefully she investigates it a little bit more and becomes serious. Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Terrific. And so there's no doubt that there are people out there who are disempowering those like me and others who do open air activism, whether you do it with your group or whether you do it by yourself. And there's this claim like, oh, you don't have to do activism on camera. Well, you're right, you don't. You know? But I choose to because I want people to maybe even see themselves on camera, how they talk, how they react to certain things. So that holds them accountable. Secondly, I want people of YouTube and, you know, the community to hear what I have to say and to hear what the responses are from the public so that can help you out. And thirdly, it's fun, you know? It's challenging. Hi. It's more challenging than just kind of having a conversation off the cuff, I guess. Kind of get in and out, you know? Get in what you need to, get out what you can. It holds people that are on camera to a little bit more accountability on what they say and being honest with themselves. And to have this like idea that you have to do this all alone is not the best place to be. You shouldn't have to feel like you're doing this all alone, and I certainly don't feel like I'm doing this all alone. Which is why I put out there an opportunity for people to donate through PayPal, Patreon, or GoFundMe. Because I've had people ask me, like, how can I support you? How can I help you out? Because people want to help out, whether it be by comments, encouraging, edification, or monetarily. Because they might not be able to go out and do what I'm doing on a regular basis. And this is kind of a missions field now, you know? This whole Minneapolis area is slowly becoming our territory, flat earth territory. And as I continue to go out and just try to show the consistency of coming out here and doing it, using you guys as accountability partners and not just saying, oh yeah, I went out and did some activism, you know, and just saying that, even though I really didn't. This helps me, this is kind of therapeutic in a way, you know. And so I just want to, you know, thank everybody. Maybe I could just post this as a video all together. It doesn't have to be super long. Looks like the rain is becoming more and more prevalent of its arrival here in the next 20 or 30 minutes. It's not like believing in Santa Claus, ma'am. It's not cute. You know, like they walk by here and they see my sign, you know, the signage that says I'm a flat earther, I need help because I have a mental illness type of thing. They look at it and they think it's cute. Like, oh, it's cute, he believes that the earth is flat. That's adorable. No, it's not adorable. It's actually quite terrifying to know that it's not true that we live on a ball in outer space. And I'm just here to tell you, you know. And so I do want to just, I guess, you know, share this much before I have to pack it up and get a tornado on me and end up in Wizard of Oz. I just want to thank all my continual commenters and subscribers, new people, those of you who are out there who are still kind of on the fence. I hope that the little videos that NASA comes out with to try to sway you with their quote evidences of ships going over the horizon, like if that's what you have to go on, you seriously need to start questioning your reality. And these are the type of videos that will sway people who don't critically think, who are prone to succumb to peer pressure, that you have to forget about what other people think about you. And if you're a Christian and you claim to be a follower of Christ, you know what that might be like, being ostracized from family or friends or coworkers and whatnot, when you talk about having faith in a God that you haven't physically seen, in a sense that would convince an atheist to follow Christ, right? But as you see with Flat Earth, you see his creation everywhere, you know? Water being level, the reflection of the sun as it's rising or setting over water comes all the way to your feet on the shore. And that wouldn't happen if water was curved, you know? And it does this in the ocean. So I'll hear those people back now who argue with me about the Kármán line. So did you guys find that Kármán line is 62 miles, 330,000 feet? You have your phone right there. I mean, you can look it up.
Yeah, so how do you explain night and day?
How do I explain night and day?
Yeah, flat Earth.
Well, I can't tell you from way over there. Are you afraid to talk to me? That I might shatter your reality?
No.
Well, then come on over and chat.
Explain night and day.
I will once you venture over here. What is your conceptualization of a flat Earth working with the sun? Like, how do you think it would work?
I have no idea because I don't believe it works.
Right.
So how do you explain flat Earth with the sun?
Sure, I can explain it. How far away is the sun right now?
93 million miles?
Yes, sir. Right. So what if the Earth and the sun were closer together than 93 million miles?
Then that's what it would be.
Right. And so with this idea, just to help you conceptualize a flat Earth, what if the sun were closer and worked more like a spotlight and just went...
It still would radiate all out unless the Earth
No, it wouldn't,
the sun
man.
is flat. You think
No.
the sun's flat?
It's a sphere.
So you think everything else is a sphere, but the Earth is flat?
The pool table's flat, but the balls are spheres.
Talking about giant bodies.
And I'm talking about how do you use the sky as a means to decipher where you live?
Just everything in the sky is a sphere.
No, it's not.
I mean, pretty much. When they're large enough.
No, how do you know that?
How do I know that?
Yeah.
Because of all the science they've done?
Like pictures and stuff?
All the science?
Pictures?
Pictures are some of it.
Okay, let's get down to real nitty gritty here. They're pictures, right?
So explain night and day.
I just did. I just showed you that the sun is a local sun.
Sphere.
No, I didn't.
What,
I didn't
like
say that.
1,000 miles away?
I didn't say the sun was a sphere.
You just did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I said, is it a flat sun? You
I said
no.
I don't know. No, I did not say it's a sphere. I got it on recording right here, so we can go back and you can take my YouTube channel and you can look at it of what I said.
So explain night and day then.
I just did, man. The sun is a local sun, and it moves across the earth like a spotlight.
Moves like that.
I don't know. It's electromagnetic, most likely.
So these are all just made up facts that you don't know about?
Man, your science is just as made up. You believe in CGI pictures. NASA admits that all the pictures that they get of outer space are translated from data, dots, and scans, and then they conceptualize the visual for you.
Those, yes.
No, all of them.
No.
Yes, sir.
Not
Yes,
if
sir.
Not if it's visible light.
It's a light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. That doesn't mean it's a planet, man.
Doesn't mean what's a plane.
The light in the sky that you're seeing, it doesn't prove that it's a planet, a sphere, or anything that you can venture to.
Can I take a recording of your...
You can do whatever you want. This is public property, so you don't need my permission. But have you said you've seen the Earth from this perspective?
Yeah, I just saw the curvature of it.
Where?
When I went up, way up,
Way up where?
I put a balloon up.
You put a balloon up.
Yeah.
Okay, with what kind of camera?
GoPro.
A GoPro? Did it have a fisheye lens on it? No? It didn't?
No.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Because you're smirking.
Well, it wasn't a GoPro. It was just a camera.
Okay. Did it have a fisheye lens on it? Okay, because my camera right here, it has a wide view lens. So at the edge, what it's going to do is it's going to curve the edge. Okay? And so you have to be aware that there's atmospheric lensing and refraction that occur. That's natural. Okay? That doesn't prove that you live on a sphere though either, man.
No. Okay. So when the sun's pointed down at one spot and there's no shadow because it's straight down. Everywhere else, like farther away, has the shadow going down.
Yeah.
You're just saying because of your little close-up sun that.
Well, if the sun was 93 million miles away, wouldn't they all just come perpendicular?
No.
Like,
the sun's way bigger, so all the rays get shot in like this.
Come on, man.
Okay, if this is the Earth and this is the sun, a ray from here would shoot here. A ray from here would shoot here.
No, no. The sun is how big again? 400 times bigger,
it's
right?
To scale, the Earth would be way the fuck over there.
Now you're swearing. See, now you're getting rowdy, man.
Am I getting rowdy?
You know, you.
I think
Okay.
that everybody's an adult here. I don't think that like saying somebody used a word that is a swear word means that somebody's rowdy. It's just an expression of.
Well, I don't have to swear.
vocabulary. It doesn't mean that it could be a difference in vocabulary. Just how.
And that's
somebody
unfortunate.
proves a point.
Right.
It's like that. It's not really unfortunate or fortunate. It's just. A
So, what
difference
proof do
in
you have that you live on a sphere then, other than
your-
NASA?
your status.
Thanks a lot. Other than with NASA and Hollywood, how would you prove to yourself that you live on a sphere?
Well, thousands of years ago, they measured the sun with a well.
Thousands of years ago?
Trigonometry.
I have trigonometry right here to prove that it's not a sphere. It's right here. Do you know the circumference of the Earth?
Do I know it?
Yeah.
I mean, not exactly.
Why not?
6,000. I don't know exactly. I don't have it memorized.
Okay, well, I do, because what I want to do is I want to get both sides of the story.
You have the circumference of the circular flat Earth, is what you're saying?
No, I have the circumference of what they tell us the globe circumference is.
Okay.
It's 24,901 miles.
Okay.
Okay? And with trigonometry, your math, your numbers, shows that after even 10 miles, there should be up to 70 feet of curvature, which means an object should be obstructed by 70 feet of Earth,
Yeah.
right?
Go to a big lake. You'll see the curvature.
No, you won't,
You
man.
will. Go to like Lake Superior and look across.
You won't.
Have a helicopter or an airplane or something fly up and go down. You see it disappear.
Yeah, why is it that if I just hover over with a helicopter, for an hour, I can reach my destination?
If you, what?
If I'm in a helicopter?
Because the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth.
Oh, okay. So at what height do I have to be to see the Earth spinning on its axis?
I mean, if you were just out here not moving, you get sucked into the Earth. You have to have a horizontal velocity to keep rotating around the Earth.
Because why?
Because of gravity.
Come on, man.
That's gravity.
That's nomenclature for why things fall to the ground. That's just buoyancy and density.
It's orbital dynamics.
No, it's not, man. So you're saying over a lake you'll see curvature, right?
Not this lake.
Okay, not this lake. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How about Lake Michigan, 50 miles away, taking a picture of the Chicago skyline from one shoreline to the other?
The building is thousands of feet tall.
Yeah, the Willis Tower is about 1,800 feet tall.
So, yeah,
and after
you see the top
50
of it.
miles,
You don't see the base of it.
you should see
You do not see the
16.
base of it.
You should see 1,700 feet of
Go
curvature.
through that picture and see if you see the base.
You
of it.
do. You do.
No, you don't.
Have you looked into it?
Yes. Yes.
Come on, man.
Show me a picture where someone's on the ground and takes that picture.
Okay, I'll show you right here.
Okay.
Okay. So there's not 1,700 feet of curvature. Have you even
What?
seen this equation?
What equation?
8 inches per mile squared. That's your globe Earth, man. That's how you prove to yourself you live on a sphere, and when you can't, you need to start questioning your reality.
So what is this formula?
That's your spherical trig with the circumference of 24,901 miles.
Okay, so what is this formula?
Take a picture of it and study it.
Yeah, so explain it.
I just did. The circumference of
any of this.
the circumference of the
So what is that?
that's the radius.
Okay, and then explain this.
I don't have to explain anything to you, to be honest, man.
I know.
I want you to look this up. You see, this is what this is what typical public people want. Is they want all the answers from me so that they don't have to look anything up themselves.
So I was wondering if
No,
you
I
could
know.
explain
It's
it.
not a belief, it's a knowing.
But if you know it, then would you explain that?
I can explain so much, but you have to have your own gumption to want to learn where you live and who you
So
are.
we're standing here talking to you, and I feel like that proves that there's gumption about where we're trying to figure out with you. So all that he's trying to figure out is, can you explain that to him so that he were to be able to understand what your whole philosophy, like on this equation.
I explained it twice.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay,
about
so the
cosine and
circumference of the Earth
I heard
is
that.
24,901 miles. Trigonometry breaks it down to 8 inches per mile squared. So you have to, for every mile, you see 0.67 feet of droppage. So then you multiply the variance of how far the object is that you're looking at to 8 inches per mile, and then you get how much feet should be hidden under the quote curve of the Earth. And this is the equation right here. I'd suggest take a picture of it, man. Or go online, because you assumed that the Kármán line was, what, 65,000 feet?
Anything. That's just what they say.
Okay, the Kármán line's 62 miles.
Yeah, so that's what they say.
So, exactly.
The edge of the atmosphere or whatever. I mean, I don't know any of that. That's just what they said. That's the definition they made.
And so,
It's not like a physical object. That's just the definition they came up with.
and so, do you believe that or not?
I mean, it's, I guess.
So it's gospel.
I've
It's
never
gospel
proved
to you.
I guess essentially. But
Okay.
that's what it's the definition they made. So it's like saying that's a ball. That's the definition they made. A sphere is a ball.
Right. And so, at what point in your life have you ever challenged what you were taught?
All the time. What do you mean?
Well, if you assume that 62 miles is the Kármán line and it's not,
That I
because,
cannot challenge. I can't.
right? So you
I don't have
shouldn't.
billions of dollars.
So you shouldn't believe it then,
Why should I not believe
'Cause
all the
then that-
research that other people and places have done?
because that's considered faith, and then that turns it into a religion, man. That's scientism. Because that's things that you can't confirm on yourself, and so
Yeah, I mean,
This
essentially
is-
all of this that you're doing is the same thing.
no, it's not, man.
What's the difference? What do you feel like is the
Because
difference?
this is an observation that you can make with 6 feet. You're taking a picture of the Chicago skyline, and your observer height is 6 feet.
I mean, I can't even tell on this picture, but it doesn't look like you can see the bottom of that building.
Okay, and do you understand what refraction is? And do you understand that the mirroring effect
Yes.
of, you know, when you're seeing a mirage and whatnot of water
Yep.
that appears to be on the ground,
Yep.
and then you walk towards it and there's no water there? Okay, so could we assume that there's some of that going on here?
Sure.
Okay, just for argument's sake?
Okay.
Okay. Now the Willis Tower is the tallest building in this picture,
Yep.
okay? From 50 miles away. There should be 1,700 feet of curvature. We should be able to see the smallest buildings here, man.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't have like a pencil and paper to like work out your equation, but I'm guessing
and-
that your equation is wrong.
You're guessing it is
I mean,
wrong?
I mean, if you're saying that 1,700 miles, what are you saying?
1,700 feet.
Okay, 1,700
from-
feet should be disappeared from this?
Yep, so look. So 50 feet. So 50 miles drop in feet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like stuff to work this out. I don't know.
Well, I'm explaining it to you. So
Okay.
I'm just, you asked me to explain it to you, so I'm explaining it to you. Now I'm giving you empirical evidence
Okay,
of a
well,
picture.
Here, let me take a picture of that, and then I'll do the math at home.
Pictures are empirical evidence, and then using them to argue your
There.
point.
So I took a picture. I'll work the math out.
I'm
Use
arguing the
same
point of NASA giving us images.
So,
Because that's what they have to say legally.
Sure, yeah, questioning it, but then like if you're gonna prove your point with the same things they proved their point with, then how do you get mad at their, or how do you argue with their point?
Because these are things that you can observe with your own physical eyes. You can't observe the Earth from outer space with your own physical eyes. You have to go on faith that the testimony of those who went to outer space is true or not, right? I choose to not believe them because I have found evidences over a couple of years since I've been into flat Earth that show NASA and other, quote, space entities to be liars. You know? And this is bigger than the women's movement, black movement, and any other movement that you have ever seen in history is flat Earth. So that's why I'm here to share. Well, it is a big movement, but it was also created by the government to displace families. Is there any truth to that? Have you ever looked into the women's movement? And I appreciate that because the thing that they want us to do is, if I stop this here because it's getting windy. But the thing that they want us to do is to keep this online. You know, they don't want me talking about this with regular people because they don't want us as a human race to continue to come together and realize that we're being lied to about where we live, who we are, and where we come from.
So why would they want you to only do it on? Wouldn't you reach more people online?
I have online. I have
So why would they only want you to do it online?
a YouTube channel and a DVD that I would highly encourage you to check out, man. Because it keeps, yeah, I mean, have you seen Flat Earth online?
I mean, I've never like looked into these things, so I don't. It's not like I've researched flat Earth.
So what
Yeah,
happens at the
right.
edge?
Who says there's an edge?
Well, you
Does there
can't-
have to be?
You saying it goes infinitely?
There could be an infinite shore. You know, I mean,
So you just don't know.
there could be water everywhere.
So you just feel like there's more information than what you have right now, like than what we've been told.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And
Do you-
it's
There's
questioning.
shitloads of information.
Are you familiar with the idea that outer space is infinite?
I mean, no one knows that either.
But they tell us that it is. It's ever
don't know
expanding. Well,
They know it's expanding this.
right. So
There's only a certain amount of light years you can
see, that's made up, man. Light years. How do they measure that?
see. It's just the distance light can travel in a year in a vacuum. I mean, in space.
Have you seen a spacesuit tested in a vacuum before?
Well, it's not pure vacuum, but yes.
You've seen it,
The video, yeah.
and you trust it.
I mean, I don't know. It's what they do.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I can admit I don't know, right? And I can admit I I don't want to believe that because it comes from a particular entity that I don't trust, and then I can trust this.
So when you see people on the space station walking in their spacesuits,
I have video. I have 2 hours of video on there, man. It's augmented reality. They're hanging up. They're hanging upside down, and they're in a parabolic flight airplane. They're lying to us, man.
You think they make that up in an airplane?
Either that or a set here on the ground, yeah. Why is that so off the wall, man? Why do you think
that... a lot of money to waste over nothing?
They get $52 million a day. What could you do with $52 million a day?
Not as much as they could.
Are you kidding me, man? Come on.
I could buy a lot of cool shit.
Our kid gets out of school.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping and just, you know, being challenged. I like to challenge myself and challenging you guys, but I just, no hard feelings, man.
No, I was just trying to learn about flat earth.
Yeah, I'm here because I care about you guys. Right. I mean, just, that's all I got, you know? Yeah. And it might come off abrasive, and I hear abrasive things coming towards me, but we have to figure out what's really going on, man. Yeah. So, appreciate you guys.
All right, cool, yeah.
Take it easy. Alright, well, I had to end that stream a bit abruptly. We have some pretty bad weather coming through right now. But I just wanted to get another point out there that he brought up when I was talking to him and his wife out there, is that he said, well, why aren't you online? I mean, wouldn't there be a bigger audience online? And, well, no, obviously not. Obviously not. If this is the first time you're hearing about Flat Earth, what's online doing, you know? And any direction or navigation you do as a newbie, if you will, that's ignorant to Flat Earth, is going to be directed towards government-run agencies to discredit Flat Earth. You know, so no, online isn't my thing anymore, I guess, if you want to put it that way. I do use online because that's where this video right now is going, right? But in terms of, you know, how most flat earthers seem to want to just stay online and just hang out in hangouts 24 hours a day, every day of the week. So when you're at a four-way stop in Minnesota, anyways, and you both come up to your stop sign at the same time, you give the person to your left time to go. So that guy, he doesn't know that. So I guess my point being is that is exactly where they want to keep Flat Earth, is online. Because then they can control the narrative, they can suppress channels and whatnot to only kind of, you know, be displayed on channels that are, you know, people who are already looking into conspiracy theory type information in the past. And so I've kind of grown tired of the whole Flat Earth community online, personally. I think that in itself is a cult. If you want to, since that term is being thrown around, the online flat earth community is a cult, you know? And these same people who admonish certain people who always seem to have the same exact amount of people every single time in their hangouts, always 300 or 400 people, never more, never less, always the same amount of people. I just start to kind of be wary about that. It's just kind of makes me feel a little weird that you know, these people who are flat earthers jump on the bandwagon with a lot of these characters, these people online, and get behind them. But then when you talk against what they're trying to say, particularly in regards to gathering as a group to do activism, and how you're supposed to only do this alone and not on camera, and that's disempowering. That's a particular mentality, and there's 3 or 4 YouTube channels in Flat Earth. These people actively talk against gathering in groups to share this information. And I have a problem with that, because what it's doing is it's just creating doubt in people. And it's also disempowering people from going out and just talking to the public in a manner in which they can do with the knowledge that they have about Flat Earth and the confidence that they will have, you know, talking about Flat Earth. Because, you know, not everybody has the same approach, not everybody has the same confidence, and not everybody knows as, you know, as much as I do, and that's not even a lot. I learn a lot of stuff here in just the last couple of days listening to some of these people talk, and what not to say, and how to approach people. And when I get into these chat rooms and I listen to these people waffling around about how we shouldn't be active with the public, you need to start questioning who you're following. You need to start scratching your head and wondering, why is it that I am offended when somebody talks down or talks negatively about this person who is on camera right now in this Google Hangout? I mean, it's their channel, right? They're hosting this Google Hangout, and there's a couple hundred people in here. But when somebody talks negatively about said host, all the sharks come out and start saying, "Oh, how dare you? You know, this person's great. Can't talk bad about this person." Well, you're talking bad about people being in a cult who want to do open air activism, where then in turn you have people defending you. That's cult-like behavior. So you're placing blame on everybody else, but then you're not pointing the finger back at you and identifying yourself as a borderline cult leader. And the globe is a cult. Let's get understanding here of what a cult is, too. You know, it's giving alms, attention to, and money to a particular leader who then can go about their business moving the philosophy or the ideology forward and you all are just kind of along for the ride. You know, that's where a lot of these cults come from, is they've given all their power over to one person, usually, and then they just kind of let that kind of trail on, and that idea manifests itself into other little sects, if you will. And then that's where you get, you know, your different, you know, churches or divisions, different space programs, different universities, and they're little cults. They have their foundational fundamentals, you know, about where they live and who they are, where they come from, and that's in their philosophy. And usually that's globe belief, and then it carries off to, you know, an entity, a godlike figure that you put your trust in, and then you have somebody talking about how that god or that entity loves you, and then uses a book to kind of reinforce that philosophy or that ideology. And some of it now here in the Flat Earth community is regarding just oral law. You know, making you feel bad about doing open air activism. And if you're not doing it a particular way somebody has pre-approved, you're doing it wrong. Your approach is wrong. What you say is wrong. And that is cult-like behavior, where these people have the idea that they're able to police how a person who is a flat earther goes about their business. Now, should a you know, person who identifies themselves as a flat earther, right? I identify myself as a non-globe believer. You know, whatever vernacular you want to use. But flat earth hits them right in the mouth and gets them to know what you're really talking about. These people tend to think that they can police how you go about your business when you are knowledgeable about flat earth. And if you're not, then you should brush up on some of the fundamentals about, you know, what a consensus group of flat earthers would agree on. And water, gyroscopes, and outer space not being real would be something that we could all probably agree on. Like every single flat earther, I think we could all agree on that, and there wouldn't be any kind of too much separation with that. Now, you know, then it goes into dome, no dome, infinite plane dome. You know, where's the edge? Is there a dome edge? Is there an edge? Mercator map, Pac-Man model, so on and so on. I mean, that's all, you know, talk. That's theories and that's philosophies. And if you can admit that you don't know, I think you're on a good track to be able to allow new information to come in. But if you're you know, dogmatic in the sense like it has to be a dome or else you lose your head, I think that's going a little bit too far. And these preachers, if you will, in flat earth who get together once or twice a week or every day and try to sway you from talking about this in public, and then they downplay it and say, well, you know, I do my part. I go out and I do activism on my own with, you know, vandalizing by putting stickers on things. You know, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm not doing it, so whatever. Saying, well, I can do this on my own. I don't need your financial help. You know, all my times that I go out, it's all spent with my money, my energy, me. I don't agree with that either, because there are people out there that want to help, that can't. You know, comments, edification through that means is great, you know, but you vote by your money. You have the most impact on how you're going to affect your life and another person's life by offering financial help. Because we put a lot of energy into creating that paper money, you know? And so if you can get to that point of where you can let the ego down, put that aside, and if people are asking to offer, you know, you financial help, don't complain about you doing it on your own, you know? And for anybody who chooses to advocate for their Patreon, their PayPal, or GoFundMe, or Bitcoin, or whatever, that's on them. You know, if people choose to give to that particular person or that group, who are you to, you know, get involved in and say that that's not the best place to spend your money? Give people the benefit of the doubt. Allow them to let you down, and then you learn. That's the learning process. You know, unfortunately, we don't have this ability to go up to people and say, oh yeah, if I talk to this person for 10 minutes, in 3 months they'll become a flat earther. You know, we don't have that ability. So to be able, so to have this idea and then come up with it and then tell people, a group of like 200 or 300 or 400 people, that you use some kind of like tactful CIA body language idea to find people that are more prone to talk to you about this than others, you're profiling. And that's not fair, because you don't know who's gonna think flat earth is crazy or a really great idea in a couple of months. That's why I talk to everybody. I give everybody an opportunity. And for you out there to say that you have some kind of secret, you know, body language identifier that helps you know who you should or shouldn't talk to, you're profiling. And I think that that's unfair, because you're withholding information. And that's gatekeeping. And I don't agree with that. You know, if you want to give Flat Earth an opportunity for everybody, every human being, you know, the least that you could do is set up a sign in a path of which people walk by so that they can read it. So then you give everybody an opportunity. But to withhold that information in you and carry your camera around and think, oh yeah, that person right there, yeah, he looks like he's into conspiracies. Oh, she definitely questions the moon landing. That's ridiculous. And I've heard people give this insinuation just in the last couple of days in these hangouts. And I think it's unfair. And so I'm an equal opportunity truther. I'll take the beatings, positive or negative. I enjoy talking to the public about this. It's challenging. It's challenging for me. I have recently been told that I have a gift of long suffering, because I don't know where some of the patience and just being silent comes from, and allowing people to speak their piece. And so I'm encouraged by that. I appreciate those comments and whatnot. And so I just wanted to, because I know that, you know, I was leaving the lake and it was getting a bit windy and it looked like this storm was coming. I don't know, it's going to be a while until it really rains where I'm at, but it just started to get a little bit too windy. people weren't really going to venture out to the lake at that time. You know, they were pretty much like, yeah, it's going to rain, I might as well stay in for some Netflix. Basketball finals start in a couple of days, so I don't know what people are going to be doing. Hopefully looking up flat earth videos. But I also just wanted to, you know, make this end part to kind of just vent, you know, and just, there's a lot of stuff in this, you know, community, this mindset, ideology, you know, whatever it is that you want to say. You are separated from everybody else now. You are. It's it. You're on a different plane, right? You're at a different frequency. People can't tune in to where you're at yet. They have to get the information and take it in themselves. Just like that gentleman and his wife at the end. They just wanted answers. What's this? What's this? And it's just like, you know, I get where you're coming from. You have a lot of questions, but these questions you have to seek out on your own. You know, it's all the, you know, all these doubting Thomases. I'm not going to believe it unless I see it myself. Okay, well, you're going to be stuck in a rut in a couple of years when flat Earth is not just mainstream, but it's like a movement of people. Like it's a, you know, she was trying to challenge me that I think the women's movement was biggest. No, it's not, because there's men. Men are human beings too, and men can understand flat Earth. Black or Hispanic or Asian, they're all understanding. So no, it is bigger than the homosexual movement, the black movement, and the women's movement, you know. And no disrespect to them, but this is a whole race of human beings that have been deceived for hundreds of years. And it's unfortunate that our great-grandparents and so on didn't have the balls, the righteous indignation to realize, wait a second. So, allegedly, these scientists just lived in Germany and they were Nazis, right? Okay, so they were murdering all of these people in these gas chambers, right? Torturing them and so on, right? Like horrible things. So after the war, we bring those very same scientists over to America in what is known as Operation Paperclip, whether that's allegedly true or not, but let's just roll with the, you know, the narrative. And then we give them jobs to start a space program called NASA and Disney? Wait a second. We're gonna hire murderers to start the space program and Disney, who were formerly in Germany murdering people, right? So you see, stuff like that just wouldn't happen while I'm alive, I guess. You know, and you might have your anger with, you know, the various other things that are going on, like Pizzagate and QAnon and Iraq and Iran, Israel, so on and so on. But I mean, flat Earth is by far the biggest thing since sliced bread. I mean, come on, let's be real here. You are separate from these people. And so now it's time to understand that you're separate from these people. And treating them in a way that's treating them in a way of concern. Like you should be concerned for these people who you should feel concerned for these people. They want to live in a lie. They want to live in a fantasy world of outer space being real. It's a place that you can go to. We can go to Mars. We've been to the moon. So, yeah, we have to gingerly and consistently go out to the public and speak on these things to the people so that we have a testimony that we were here. Because you can delete videos, okay? You know, you can delete all YouTube, okay? Delete all the videos on YouTube. Oh, I'm on DTube though. Well, just delete those on DTube. Oh, well, I'm on Twitter. I'm doing Facebook. I got flat earth stuff everywhere. Well, they've suppressed our history for the last couple thousands of years, so what's flat earth information? So until you physically go out and physically talk to a person, in person, about flat earth, where's your testimony? You know? Where's your commitment to the thought of flat earth being true? You're in a relationship if you trust flat earth is true. Okay? Like a relationship. You have to share this idea with other people because it should be so overflowing and so abundant in your heart that you have to talk about it with other people. Particularly with strangers. So, I'm committed, you know, like after my stepdad passing away on Friday, burial, I am committed now. You're not going to be able to come in and convince me that we live on a sphere. And we'll continue to press forward and share this information with people in my way, and hopefully over a period of time enough people will have risen up by the time I'm dead. I don't know. I mean, be doing this till I guess I die. I don't know, until something happens, because you're not going to change anything on YouTube. I'll tell you that for a fact. You want to be a flat earther and just sit on YouTube and make videos and sit on Google Hangouts all the time? This is how much you're changing things. Okay? Zero. Because I just talked to people who had never heard of flat earth online or anywhere. You know? And it's been 3 years that it's been pushing pretty solidly, right? They've never heard of it before. So you think that you're on YouTube making videos and so on and so on. They can be effective for certain people. But not for everybody. Okay? I mean, let's just be honest here. We have to be more tactful, and those who are willing and able to go out and talk to the public, go do it. Challenge yourself. Those who aren't, and they're more comfortable talking to friends, family, and coworkers, then go do it. Those of you who are still on the fence or in the closet about flat earth, there has to be a point in your walk here that you openly admit that you're a flat earther, whether it be, you know, on Facebook, to your family and friends, your best friend, your husband or your wife. It has to come out of your mouth, okay? That is how you know you're committed to this. You have to speak it out and say, yeah, I'm a flat earther. I don't believe in the globe. I don't think that the earth is a ball and outer space is not real. And until you do that, you're just in a club. You know, I heard just recently with the conversation, a guy was on with Roxanne Glenn a couple of days ago, and he said that his dad was a Freemason. And he was only a third degree Freemason, and guess what? He thought he knew everything, right? So with that being said, there's a lot of third degree Freemasons who think they have it up on you. You know, they think like they have been given illumination and there's this bee's knees. And they walk around and they think that they know it all. Well, hate to break it to you, but you have a lot more to learn. Because now I'm at 37, and I just learned that the earth was flat a couple of years ago. You know, so you guys, we all have a long ways to go. We all have a lot of pruning that we have to go through. We have a lot of trimming of our ego and our pride, so that we can bring flat earth to people in a manner that's respectful. Okay, you're gonna come across people that you have to be abrasive to, but I can be abrasive to people and still be respectful. Okay, because now is the time to start telling people that they do not live in a fantasy world created by Hollywood and NASA. And I hope that, you know, the rest of your weeks, boys and girls, is productive. I hope you get what you need to get out of this, what you saw earlier in the video and everything that comes across in it. And if you knew better, you'd do better.